This is Eve by Myron Waldman. Eve goes to bed every night next to the picture of her on-screen bohunk hero. She wakes up in the morning and hides the picture under her bedroom rug. Eve weighs herself, does her stretches, weighs herself again, says goodbye to her brother, her father, and her mother, grabbing a cup of tea and wearing a rather nifty hat. She gets on the subway, but she can't reach the rail. So a man tips his hat to her and she explains her predicament. And he lifts her up to the railing. And there she is hanging there, scowling at the guy. Now she's running to the office. I love her hat. Past one typist, past another typist, past a third typist. She's going so fast her hat flies off her head. And now she sits down at her desk, typing away. And one of her coworkers comes up and shows her a picture of her boyfriend. And it makes Eve sad. Here comes the towel man, pokes her on the shoulder, and she smacks him in the hand. Oh, look, one of her coworkers got engaged. Eve is sad. She goes to the zoo on her way home. The monkeys are sad. The foxes are sad. Even the tree is sad. She sits at the coffee counter and looks at all the young couples in love. She sits on a bench and looks at two birds in love. She goes home and sighs through her dinner. Her parents are very concerned, but her brother doesn't seem to notice. She goes to her rug, gets out the picture of her imaginary boyfriend, and falls asleep crying, dreaming about protesting Cupid, saying love is unfair. And the months and the days go by. It's December. Nobody calls her on the phone. There's cobwebs. There's love outside, but none in her heart. And she walks to work very sad, not peppy like we saw her last time. She hangs from the railing, looking at the young couple in love. Slowly walks into the office, their heart crying over her head, slowly typing. There's the towel boy again. He taps her on the shoulder. She turns her back on him, and his heart shatters. There he is again. He tickles her under her chin. But she turns her back on him, and his heart shatters. 6 o'clock. Everybody's going out the door. She's still got that great hat. And it's snowing outside. The policeman holds all of the girls' boyfriends back. But there's no one for Eve. Even the policeman has a date. She sadly looks at a wedding ring display. She sees a woman start to wave around frantically. It looks like on purpose she fell in the snow. And two guys help her up. Now Eve is going to try. Oh, help! She exclaims, winking at us because we know what she has planned. It doesn't work, and her hat is ruined. Oh, now it looks like her hat's okay. But she's walking home, stooped over, very sad, and she sees a sign for Miami at a travel agency. And suddenly, the heart is back above her head. She's very excited. She's running home, past the snow shoveler, past her family. Her mother is so happy to see Eve happy again. Eve shakes all of the money out of her mattress. Her family listens intently outside her door. Eve runs out. She runs to the travel agency and gets tickets. She's floating on her way home. She buys luggage for the trip. She floats past the cop on horseback. She shows the tickets to her family as she runs into her room, where she and the picture of her Hollywood sweetheart dream of her being adored by hunks on the beach. She shows the girls at the office her ticket, and she gets back to typing. There's that towel boy tickling her chin. She pounds him on the wrist. And even though her family is struggling to carry her luggage, she is still floating in the air. She goes through the entrance to the train track and waves goodbye. They're all very happy to see her go. Here they are waiting to get on the train. The conductor fires his starter pistol. Fires it. They're waiting again. Conductor fires her starter pistol. The rest of the crowd gets on. Eve yawns and sits back in her chair. The sun is out now. She's been in the chair so long, her back is shaped like the chair. And so, the train goes from snowy New York through snowy Washington, on down past houses, pigs. The train goes into the sun. We see a Mexican woman and her children. We see an alligator. And we see a marlin fishing for a human. And we see a pelican. Eve is carried off the train, loaded onto the bus to the hotel, carried to the desk where she signs in, and can't sleep because there's a mosquito in her room. Eventually, she's on the floor and the mosquito is in her bed. The sun is shining. She's got on a cute dress. She's got on a cute hat. Eve walks along the beach. What's this? A young man? Nope, unfortunately, it's an old one, and her dream is once again crushed. Here's a handsome fellow. They're all admiring the girls, but not Eve. Eve starts jogging. She does exercises with the rec coordinator. She jogs with the rest of the hotel guests. She bikes with the rest of the hotel guests. But oh, she's trapped on a recumbent bike with somebody. Not a recumbent bike, a stationary bike. They gaze at each other. A heart appears above both their heads. Here's Cupid peeking over as they share a soda together. She writes scads of postcards to her family. She and the young man jump into the sea together. He holds her as she floats on her back. All is well. They are tossed into the air on a canopy of flowers by 4 cupids. They skip above the clouds. Cupid's arrows shoot into their hearts. They are in love. And they go out on the town together. The band plays. They dance. The wallpaper is covered with $signs. And Eve goes back home with his picture in her hand. She puts up her luggage. She runs off the train to her family. Look who I met, she says, talking about marriage. Her father imagines the new boy handing out cigars. The mother imagines a new baby. Little brother envisions getting lollipops from his new brother-in-law. And they all skip home. Eve reaches under her mat, takes the picture of her Hollywood boyfriend, and tears it up. She is in love with someone else. She tells the postman. She tells the sewer worker. She tells the cop on horseback. She tells the mouse. She skips over clouds. She's floating on the subway. She is in love. She tells all of the girls at work all about it. They are so impressed. Bells are ringing. Hearts are flying. Flowers are in the air. And here comes that towel boy. He tickles her chin and she wallops him. But what's this? The towel boy is the guy she met in Florida? Somebody gives her smelling salts to revive her after she's fainted. Her heart is broken. She falls through a cloud. She and her wonderful hat carry the cowboy's picture home. She's crying. She looks at a wedding dress display, sobbing to herself. But there's the towel boy right behind her. Everything's going to be okay. The end.